City for giving this opportunity to express my feelings and whatever I think about this great organization. First of all, I must speak about the topic. Generally, we talk about things we know, but this is a topic which I feel that common man is not aware much about. I have had this experience in last 30 years. Whenever I have interacted with everyone, generally I get a feeling that people either do not have any idea about Indian Army or armed forces, or whatever they have is just a hearsay, heard from somewhere or just read from somewhere with no actual authenticity. So I thought, let me choose the topic, the Indian Army as you don't know. Now, why is this don't know? This is generally because of either misinformation or lack of information about Indian Army. Now, what do you mean by that? Generally, this misinformation is about the casualties or only people who do not have any developmental faculty or who are not good in studies or duds, they join Indian Army or armed forces. Or generally they don't know what is the job content or what does the army do. They just see the only glorified thing about the army. Then is the impression that the armed forces do not get good pay package. Why I'm using package? Because now the word pay is not used much, it is used as package. And last but not the least is the anxiety about the unsettled family life. I will talk about these points first. Let's talk about the casualties, the misconception about the chances of dying. Generally people see or people talk about that ये फौज में गया है, पता नहीं किस दिन क्या खबर आएगी और अभी तो गया ही है, अभी जब वापस आएगा रिटायर होगी तब देखेंगे. Let's see about the casualty figures of Kargil war. This was a war in which our adversaries, our enemy used all weapons at his disposal except Air Force. He used his mines, he used his rifles, pistol, heavy machine gun, medium machine guns, his artillery, everything. In spite of that, in 60 days, the total casualty figure, the deaths are 527 and 1,363 wounded. Now compared to that, with the yearly road accidents, I am now taking the figure of similar period, that is in 1999-2000. I'm assuming we had a population of 100 crores. It was slightly more than that, but I'm using 100 crores. And the rate of accident was 13 per 1 lakh. So from that, the figure comes is 21,370 casualties in 60 days by just road accidents. This works out to be nearly 40 times of the casualties what have taken place in 60 days of full-fledged war. So, फौज में गया मतलब गया is totally wrong. The chances of you coming back hale and hearty with a pension are much more than if you are not in armed forces. Second is only duds join the forces and you don't require studies or there are no studies involved, koi padhai nahi. So it is not that. Continuous training and courses, they may be mandatory or competitive, are required to be undertaken. And it is not only duds who join army. I will just take one example only of 10+2 technical entry scheme. Now why I have taken this is 2012 figures, because this is the time when my son, he joined this technical entry scheme and now he's captain in same unit which I commanded. So during that time, 82% cutoff was there for 2012 December. This is the PCM marks I'm talking about. 3 lakh people applied at that time. Out of that, only 10,000 were called for SSB interview. Out of that, only 165 were recommended after SSB. And out of that, after medical fitness, only 135 joined the academy. The total vacancies were 160, so remaining 25 were left vacant. The standards were not lowered to accommodate this. So, and we are talking about people who have got 82% or more marks, and only out of that, 165 were recommended and 135 finally joined. About job content and package, I will be talking about in my next portions. Let's talk about anxiety about unsettled family life. This is no more only attributable to the armed forces. In fact, I would say armed forces people have more settled life compared to other people. There are many jobs where you have to go out of your home. I know many people who go out and roam around for their job profile 2 weeks, 3 weeks a month. There is a trend of changing your jobs every 4 to 5 years. The companies transfer people from one place to another, and if you don't follow the line, you have to quit the job. So compared to that, this is much better what we are having. Why we have misconception? Generally, people fall prey to the incorrect picturization by media. Army men are either kept on a very or extraordinary high pedestal, or they are condemned. They do come from the same society. We must know we are not coming from Mars. We are selected from the same common people. So whatever social evils we will have in society, some portion of it will be always present in the armed forces. However, I must tell you, those evils will be in much lesser number because of the discipline, training, and total transparency in how we handle the situation. So we will have some percentage of the social evils, whatever are there in society, but they will be much lesser in number. And we deal with them in a much faster manner. To just give you an example of what we had, the first sting operation, the Helka scam. We have had just one result after so many years. And imagine what happened to the 2 army officers who were caught on that. Within 6 months, they were cashiered and thrown out of the army. Cashiered means they didn't get anything, no pension, nothing. Just imagine, within 6 months, this was given. And what is happening in civil? Entire organization should not be condemned or judged by action of some people. But unfortunately, with the social media explosion, we tend to do that. We should not believe on each and everything what is being shown on the media. Now some facts. Commanding officer or CO, how it is called in the armed forces, he has the executive, financial and judicial powers all rolled into just one man's hand. He is considered God in his unit. Actually, there is no person in India who has got, other than the CEO, who has got all 3 powers in one hand. Even if you take a prime minister, he doesn't have the judicial powers. He has the executive powers. He may be able to influence the people who have the financial powers, but he can do nothing about judicial powers. We are governed by Army Act, Army rules and regulation also, in addition to all the laws of the land, they are also applicable to us. So we have additional restrictions in or along with the additional responsibility. For example, we cannot interact with media. We cannot give statements to press or anything about what is happening in the army. There are selected and trained people who do this. We cannot deny for a place of work because we take oath when we get commission or when we are recruited that we will go by land or by air or by water to anywhere, not only in India, but anywhere in the world. And I'm sure as the space is the next boundary, we are going to see the space also will be included in our work, that we will not deny to go in the space also, if ordered by the government of the day. Then there is also a misconception that we don't do anything when there is no war or when we are not posted in the field station. No, it is not like that. Training is a continuous, unending process. We have to be prepared for any eventuality. So we have to train in our peace station. So we have different types of trainings. We have various courses going on. We have single persons training. We have small teams training. We have collective trainings. We have various operational areas which are allotted to us, where we go in case of actual war, when you are in peace station. So we have to go there every year or maybe once and twice a year for doing preparations of our own job. There are various administrative tasks, various documentation to be done. We have to look after our families, education of our children, the health problems of our dependents, including parents. So where are we going to take time for that? And now we are having the additional task about the IS duties or sundry tasks. Why I'm calling sundry tasks? Because we have organizations which are specializedly trained for this task, but still, whenever we want the quick solutions, it is army which is called. Right from the small boy slipped in a borewell, you call army. The railway bridge collapses, you call army. The bridge during the Commonwealth Games falls, you call army. You have flood relief, you call army. You want to control riots, you call army. So actually we are more busy when we are in peace compared to field locations. We have to take part in various sports, various adventure activities. So where do we get time? So now with this background, let me talk about what is the life in army. And I've also included armed forces because it is more so applicable with minor variations in Navy or Air Force also. I'll be talking about the role, organization, life in the army, some emoluments, and in case you want to join, how do you join? In case you have to know about army, first of all, we must be clear about what is the role of Indian Army. We have two roles. One is primary and one is secondary. The primary role talks about preserve the national interests and safeguard the sovereignty, territorial integrity and unity of India against any external threats. First, by deterrence, and if required, by waging war. So waging war if it is required. Secondary role is defend the nation against the internal threats and challenges such as proxy wars or anti-terrorist operations by assisting the government when requisitioned and provide aid to civil authorities under various conditions. Now, if we have these roles, now let's know when we say army, what does it mean? There are various departments, there are various subparts of army. They are loosely divided into arms and services. Arms means infantry, which is required to hold and occupy the ground or the land. Armored corps, the tanks, which are used for rapid movements, firepower and short actions. Mechanized infantry, the infantry role with the armored formations. The normal infantry walks. The armored corps runs. So you have to have, which is both. Then we have artillery, the god of war, with their massive firepower to support these operations. You have army air defense to guard our skies, to give protection against enemy flying objects, not only enemy aircraft, but other flying objects also. Army aviation, which is the army wing of the army, which gives the close support for all operations. Engineers, who facilitates the movement of own army by various means. It can be by laying of minefield or lifting the minefield. It can be laying of obstacles or lifting the obstacles or destruction of the obstacles. It can be laying bridge or destructions of bridge. And by restricting the movement of the enemy, signals for own communication, but denying communication to the enemy. And also we have Army Service Corps for all supplies and transport, Army Ordnance Corps for stores and inventory management, electrical and mechanical engineers for maintenance and repairs. Without the help of the backup of these services, the arms cannot carry out their function. These are very, very important people. Then there are some minor corps who have also play a very important role in their own field. Intelligence Corps, Corps of Military Police, Indian Medical Corps, the doctors of Army, Navy, Air Force, Army Dental Corps, the dental protection, Rebound and Veterinary Corps for the animal, that is the Kachar and the dogs, Army Postal Services, Judge Advocate General, and finally the Military Engineering Services. So what is the life in Army? Let's talk about action. Army man's life is full of action, always, everywhere and anywhere. If you talk about field, you take all wars, any operations, all counter-terrorism, insurgency operations, Army has been at the forefront. Even special ops like Mumbai attack, attack on Akshardham, peacekeeping mission in UN or IPKF in Sri Lanka, Army is always there. Even in peacetime, we are always there. Relief works in time of natural calamities like Latur earthquake or J&K earthquake, Orissa super cyclone, 2004 tsunami, Bihar floods, the list is endless. We also carry out environmental protection activities, which very few people are aware about. This involves many tasks, but generally don't get any coverage because they are not that glamorous. They don't get the TRPs. And other social benefiting activities. For example, you take the first International Yoga Day. Very few people are aware of the role of Army in getting the job done. Professional growth. Growth of the Army man doesn't stop with his commission or recruitment. Rather, the process of acquiring newer skills and competence just starts. There are various courses everyone has to undergo. They are either compulsory courses or competitive. They are technical courses, management courses, even language courses. Not only Indian languages, I'm talking about foreign languages. You have to go for various courses in foreign countries. You are sponsored for higher degree and qualifications. You also get study leave of 2 years. Adventure. Adventure is the way of life. And I'm not talking about what generally everyone in civil split calls adventure. That is desert or mountain trekking or trek. That is our normal activities, including even para jumping. Those are normal activities. I'm talking about professional adventure activities. Like when I say mountaineering in adventure, that means mission of climbing Everest or K2, car, motorcycle, professional rallies, whitewater rafting, scuba diving, not what the divers or the naval divers or army divers do as a professional task. No. Adventure activities, scuba diving, hot air ballooning, ocean sailing, aero sports or water sports. Life in the army, travel. Traveling is the second nature for an army man. He has to travel every 2 to 3 years for his change in the place of the job, whether he can move independently or maybe with the unit. But apart from this, he gets to travel to even outside India on various missions, various individual courses or as a unit for peacekeeping or even other way. There are various embassies where army men get to do a job. With this, but we use this opportunity to learn new things about people, about the culture, about the language, to enrich our experience. Finally, the lifestyle. We believe in enjoying every moment whenever it is possible. And so we believe in living the life king size. We have the lifestyle which is unmatched in this sector. facilities and infrastructure, what we enjoy, you have to visit a cantonment to believe. We have all kinds of sports available, including golf, riding, swimming, all indoor sports. Plus, we have well-equipped clubs, libraries, childcare facilities, various educational institutions. The best is unpolluted air. We look after our family like nobody else. We look after our families even when the breadwinner is not around. We also believe that the entire army is a one large and happy family, and we want to keep it like that. We have all the facilities available, and we ensure that everybody gets to share these facilities, secure and clean cantonments, and various other facilities also. We have separate family quarters when officer or Jawan goes to the field station where the families cannot visit, so that his family can continue at that place and his mind is at least free of that worries. This is just an example. This is a list of some of the professional institutes where 80% or more seats are reserved for wards of serving or retired army personnel, officers, JCOs, Jawan, anyone. And if you see the list, right from hotel management to law, fashion designing, nursing, management, education, dental science, medical, list is unending. You can take any field. We have a dedicated professional institute for wards of army personnel. Status: army man enjoys a high status in the country. This profession gives you respect to you and your family, always and anywhere. Achievers from army background. I have just placed photographs of one from some of the fields. You can take sports, entertainment, entrepreneur, international arena, mountaineering, or sports. We have people who are either serving army personnel or people from army background, that is their sons and daughters of army men. Now let's see the basic pay package. This is the list of basic pay after 7th pay commission. You can see the lieutenant draws a basic pay of 56,100. If you add MSP and add DA and various other emoluments, which you will see in the next slide. Now this is the list of Jawans and JCOs. You can see a Sipahi can get recruited at 18 years of age. So he completes at 19 years of age, but his pay starts from the day he joins, that is recruited. So 18 years of a boy, he may be of 10 or 12 pass. He gets 27,000 rupees as a basic plus MSP plus DA on it plus other. So the figures I will give you next. We also have entitled rations. Mind you, they are not free rations. It is entitled rations. We have free medical treatment for self and the dependents, canteen facilities where we get all the items at some concessional rates. We have insurance. We have death cum gratuity. And the best part is we have annual leave of 60 days and casual leave of 20 to 30 days every year. We have a study leave of 2 years with full pay and allowances for people who want to gain higher educational qualification. We have free railway warrant every year for you and your family when you want to visit your selected place of residence. And you have, this is the only service with pension which is left. Other services, even if it is government job, you have to contribute for your pension. After 7th pay commission, I can say definitely that army personnel are comfortable for their pay and salaries. A trainee at IMA or OTA, a gentleman cannot get 56,100 per month as a stipend. A lieutenant will have his salary about 84,000 when he joins the Indian Army. If posted in field area in his first posting, his salary will start with 1 lakh. But Jawans or a recruit his salary will start from 34 to 35,000 rupees. Now, that pay package, even engineers do not get in many colleges. Now, let's see what do we see when we select the profession. Generally, the youngsters will select their profession or their parents will help them in selecting the profession. Generally, we want to see what we are looking for from a profession. Now, I'm calling it attributes. These are the attributes what I feel everyone looks from the profession. You may seek professional advancement or a job satisfaction. You may be looking for job security, economic stability, social status, quality of life, and if possible, variety and adventure. Generally, whatever you are looking for from a job can be loosely clubbed in these factors. There is no job which will give you best of everything. You may have job security in something, you may have economic stability or prosperity in something, you may have social status in something, or you may have professional advancement in something. But the profession of arms gives you the best combination of these. It will not give you best in any of the attributes, but the best combination, you just can't beat profession of arms. And when I say profession of arms, that means Army, Navy, and Air Force. Now, just to cover it, or with a pinch of salt, you may not get an excellent pay, but other things you just cannot compare with Army. Now, if this is the case and somebody wants to join Army, how can he join? You can join as an officer. So there are various entries how to join. Nowadays, you have to do, first thing you have to do is online registration. Now, for the type of entry what you are seeking, there will be different notifications which will be coming at different times. You have to be aware of those timings. The notification comes online or in leading newspapers or in the employment news. You have to be aware of that and you do online registration, and then in majority of the cases there is a written exam. Now, the entries are 10 plus 2 level entries, that is after 12 for men. For women, we don't have 10 plus 2 entry other than the MBBS entry, that is for AFMC. Then graduate level entry, there are various entries, that is permanent commission and short service commission. There are a few technical entries, that is for engineering branch from various fields, and women's special entries. Now let's see few of the entries in tabular form. You can see various courses, that is the type of entries, the notification, which month they come, the age, minimum to maximum, what can be your age when you apply, what is the minimum qualification required, and the training institution where the training is carried out and the duration for which the training is given. Here it is basically after NDA, that is 10 plus 2, 10 plus 2 technical again is after 12th, IMA is graduation, and others are graduation in final year or a pre-final year graduation. These are all graduate entries except the last, that is AFMC Pune, in case of men. You can see one can become an army officer. If you are looking for from AMC point of view, it is still 45. For others, it is 27. Now, these are the entries of women. For women entries, 10 plus 2, like I mentioned, AFMC, and one entry is not mentioned over here is the nursing officer or the nurses. Generally, after either written test or the cutoff, the selected candidates are called for SSB interview. This is a very unique interview and generally it lasts for 5 days. Here, what we are looking in SSB interview, we are looking for the leadership qualities. We are not looking for somebody who is best in IQ or who is best in physicals. We are looking for a combination of these factors and somebody who can provide the leadership in a required manner. So there are intelligence tests, there are picture perception tests, group discussion, word association test, thematic perception test, situational reaction. The lecture topics are given just 5 minutes in advance. You don't have much time to prepare. Individual and group obstacles, and finally the interview. We are checking whether can you be a good leader of a group? Can you be a group? Can you become a good part of a group? A working member, a contributing member? Can you work as an individual? All these things are seen in this SSB. You are watched for 5 days. You cannot hide. Actually, you cannot hide. Your true personality is found out. Now, what is an officer? A gentleman or a lady? He is a person who is trained and tasked to lead men into the battle or to complete any mission which is assigned to him. And the leadership has to be such that the people who are your followers or the men under you will follow your order blindly. They have to have that much supreme faith in the leader. So you have to have the leader qualities like that. You are supposed to be not just a leader, a commander. You have to be a friend, philosopher, and guide under your command. You have to be a manager of human and material and technological resources, not just one. You have to be a model of character, virtue, and valor. You have to be compassionate and you have to be having a determination also. The motto what we follow is difficult will be done immediately. Impossible may take some time. Now, if you have to join as a Jawan or a NCO or a JCO, how do you join? First of all, let's see about the problems what are faced in this. First is lack of proper information. That is the common in case of officers or Jawans. And there are myths about the bribe and the touts. Now, why I'm calling it myths? Because the present recruitment procedure of as Jawans or JCOs or OR is so foolproof. There are nearly various 22 officers who are controlling the recruitment of one single Jawan. With biometrics and computers coming in, and the papers which are written questions are those OMR sheets which are checked by computers, and the results are compiled by the barcodes, not by the name. Your name is not there in any way. So there is no way anybody can influence. So that's why these are the myths. If you have it in you, you will be selected. Otherwise, there is no way you can be selected, even if you are a son of a serving officer or a Jawan. Now, what is a recruitment rally? Now, for recruitment rally also, you have to do online registration. After you register, depending on the rally should be for your place. You cannot take part in a rally which is not for your area or for the place which you are domiciled for. If I am a domicile of, let's say, from Thane district, I can take part in a rally which is for people from Thane district only. So when you register online, you get a registration or an admit card. So you have to take that printout of admit card and go for the rally on the allotted date. There are physical tests carried out. That is run, pull up, chin up, 9-foot ditch and zigzag balance. You have to finish that and in a particular manner, and you get particular points how you do it, in what timing and how you do it. Then physical measurements are taken, documents are checked, medical exam is done, and finally whoever passes through this, then they are called for written exam. These are the few photos of a recruitment rally. People are running, the documentation is being done, The measurements are being done, the physical is being done, the tradesman test, the medical, and finally, the right bottom is the written exam in open in front of everyone. You cannot do cheating over here. There are some dispensations given in the educational qualification, physical standards for whom? For few castes, communities, and regions. It is not religion, it is region. To give an example, people from hills, they are given concession for heights. You cannot have the same height standard for a Jat and for somebody from Kumaon region. There are dispensations given for sons of serving soldier or ex-servicemen, sons of widows and war widows, NCC cadets and sportsmen. When I say sportsmen, you have to be representing at national level in sports which are followed in army. Now these are few of the categories for which the soldiers are recruited. There are various categories. You may be good in something, you will be recruited, depending on what is your aptitude. Even the tradesmen, you can see that for them, it is 8 pass. You can be a cook, you can be a safai wala. You will be recruited. If you are graduate, you can come as education havaldar. If you are graduate, you can come as a RT, JCO, that is religious teacher. You can be a Panditji, you can be a Granthi, you can be a Maulvi. Then there are JCO catering also. Their physical standards, age, height, weight, chest is given. Now all this information what I have been showing is available on a site. I will give the address of the site at the end of this talk. Now you have to carry certain documents. When I say documents, that means original and attested copies. You should carry for your recruitment. What are these? Domicile certificate, education qualification and mark sheets, caste certificate, character certificate. If you are NCC cadet, the NCC certificate. And if you are son of serving or ex-serviceman or widow or war widow's son, a proof of that, photographs. So these are the sites. The AFMC site is the site on which you will find all information if somebody wants to become a doctor in army. Here you are taken after 12th, NEET, that is NEET, the score plus an interview is taken of selected people based on your NEET score, and the joint merit list is made. And if you are in the merit list, you come for AFMC and you get your medical degree in that. Plus, after 12th, presently only girls can join the nursing officer. So, about this AFMC and nursing officers course, you will get every information on AFMC site. For all other everything, you want to join as an officer, maybe men or women, or a Jawan or JCO, when the notification is going to come, what is the required criteria, what are the various timelines, everything is given on this joinindianarmy.nic.in site. Please follow this. You will get all the information on this. Finally, you will see sudden boom in the nationalism and pseudo patriotism on national holidays, that is 15 August or 26 January, or during a war-like situation, or whenever there is any attack take place or terrorist attack take place. However, the best thing you can do for a soldier is to become a citizen worth fighting for. The soldier will continue to do it nevertheless. Now, with this, I come to the end of what I wanted to say. If you want to join Indian Army, please join it. You will get all the information, you will get all the help. I will request people, do not at least discourage if your son or daughter want to join Indian Army. It is one of the best professions you can join. If there are any questions, I'm ready. Thank you.